That's right, baby. Episode number 3 of NYCFC at home with the Cooligans, presented by El Jimador.
Okay, yes, we're here to cheer you up, all right?
Come on, baby.
A pair of rough results, but we're trying to, look on the bright side, okay?
That's it. You know what? Normally, we'd be there, right? We'd be there cheering on the boys. They need us. They need to hear us nice and loud. So I'm going to be even louder than I normally am.
Okay,
right?
So that's going to be quite loud.
I mean, the neighbors are already upset, so I'm just going to take it to another. You complaining anyway, baby. I'm just giving you something else to complain about, you know?
All right, so let's see how this tournament has gone so far. All right, everybody. The MLS is back. Tournament is going strong. It's been incredibly entertaining. NYCFC, they've had a pair of rough results. But you know what? There's optimism in areas. Obviously, Jesus Medina's goal is a starting point to at least
put some respect on that. GOLAZO. All right.
That was unbelievable. But again, we always appreciate you hanging out with us. And remember, make sure to leave questions or comments in right here below, and we'll make sure to hopefully get to them in the next episode.
Yeah, like right now, you know what? You're watching this at home. Normally, if it was concession stands, I'd go get maybe a beer and what are they called? Like the Yankee Dingers, the Bronx Slider, whatever they're called, the little sliders, right? What are you eating at home? Put it in the comments right now. What are you eating at home while you watch the game?
Exactly. So look, so we know already NYCFC has taken 2 losses. I mean, look, the last game against Orlando was just a rough start. And look, when the team has to come back from a kind of a shock goal early on in the game, we're always playing catch up. It can always be challenging.
Put in the comments if you're putting ketchup on your food. That just reminded me of ketchup. Put it in there.
Yeah, that's what it's about today.
Come on, dude.
No, man. But look, obviously, not having Maxi Morales is it's a big deal. And the team, I think we saw
one of the best players in the league for a reason, especially his ability to sort of be that pendulum of pinging shots. Everyone wondered who's going to take that spot. And I think we saw a bunch of players sort of coming in and playing, really close to the wings, trying to stretch the field as much as possible, give our forwards a lot of opportunity. It didn't need much space for Jesus to Medina to be like, oh, I forgot they let me bring this cannon through TSA on my way to Orlando. Damn.
Yeah, and at the very least, we can really show some praise for that goal, because that might be one of these goal of the MLS is back tournament, because that was a FIFA Ultimate Team. Just like if somebody scored in FIFA, they scored on you in FIFA with a goal like that, you'd be like,
that's
really?
A rage quit.
Really?
That's a rage
What am I
quit.
supposed to do?
Yeah. Let me be honest. If you scored that goal in FIFA, you'd be like, I don't know what I did different. I hit the same buttons I always hit.
You know what?
Ridiculous.
I'm still going to rage quit because I don't know what happened.
I'm rage quitting for you because I don't know what I just did. So I feel bad for you, my guy. Was that off the volley? Yeah. Was my body in a T shape? Yeah. I honestly think maybe it's the blonde hair.
Really? You think that was the difference?
That could be it. Do it, baby. Look, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. Somebody famous said it, and I can't remember, and it wasn't a soccer player. But maybe that's all it takes.
You know what? You sound like a shampoo commercial. That's what you do.
Maybe, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna go. Is what he uses on his hair. Now, NYCFC, do you have a partner that can fit in there? Well, maybe he put El Jimador in his hair. Maybe that's what it was, dude.
Who knows? Yeah.
And he felt refreshed,
Look, the NYCFC still, we're not out of it entirely, right? Look, it's going to be a difficult task. Obviously, winning against Inter Miami is paramount.
What do we control? Because we're on the team now. I forgot to tell you guys, right? We're on the team. Move
Pass me the ball. They're not passing us the ball, and it's
I gotta be honest, I haven't had one touch, and maybe that's honestly it, right? My possession, way down. But look, all you can control is the next game and the opponent in front of you, right? If they win, and they win by a big margin, it increases their chances of moving on to the knockout tournament. So that's what we need. We need to cheer on
Exactly.
our boys, win the game. We're not completely out of it.
And it's also, this is a regular season game, right? It still counts towards the regular season. Very much still want to win and need to win. So, it doesn't take away any of its urgency. So, let's go. 3 points.
Last episode, right, we saw Ibiaga, right, inspiring Keaton Parks to lift some heavy weight in the gym, right? If you're listening and you're watching right now, go ahead, put it in the comments. What are some ways that you'd say something to inspire? Give me your Ibiaga inspiration tape to inspire the boys on. Let's see what you got. And if it's dope, we'll read it next week. Oh, yeah, we're getting in that bubble, dog.
Inside the bubble.
Which, by the way, presented by Adidas. All right, shouts to Adidas, yo. All right, let's take a look at life in the bubble presented by Adidas. All right, because this bubble, I mean, we're getting a lot of conversation about what's happening in the bubble. What are people eating? What are people doing? What are people saying? What I really want to know is, how's Maxi?
Okay.
It's a one-man bubble.
How's our little baby Maxi? Okay,
Right,
we need to make sure he's taken care of.
He's our bubble boy right now. We need wrap him in bubble wrap. Okay. Let's just take
Saran wrap, aluminum foil, it doesn't matter.
Adidas, stitch together a couple tracksuits, get it nice and cushioned, okay? Send it down into the bubble. Because when we found out he wasn't going to play, we freaked out because we understand how important Moxie is. Just not even just NYCFC, just to the league. He's one of the best players in the league right at this moment. And it's been nice. It's been nice to see these videos of him. What I think is an iPad Nano strapped to his thighs. I don't know what's happening there, but apparently I'm hearing it is medical. Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It just sounds like a new device that is is it like an attachment for my phone or something along those lines?
I mean, can he get music on that? What's he doing? Right.
Yeah. So it looks like the recent news was that he pulled something towards the end of the last game, and essentially a quad.
Yeah, it was in his quad, and he said he felt it. He said he went down because he didn't want to make it worse, which is great. That's what we want. But right now, where are we? Can we as fans patch into whatever it is that's strapped around you and just hear? Can we hear like heartbeat? You know what I mean? Like a sonogram for your thighs? Yeah.
Okay. Your quad, I hear the pulse and I feel better.
I got to be honest, not a doctor, so I don't know what this means, but I'm more comfortable knowing you're more comfortable.
Getting to see him kind of rehab is a little bit optimistic. Maybe he can't play the entire game, but any minutes you can have Maxi Morales is definitely a luxury. So
that's minutes we want.
Exactly. So
now let's go to minutes with Maxi Morales. No.
Okay. We're all NYCFC fans. It feels grim, right? But it's not. Again, we're not out of it. There's still a lot to play for, and anything is possible in this tournament. As we've seen, just these wild results. You saw Montreal and Toronto, already 5 goals in one half. This game against Miami, we need lots of goals, and we need them to not score many.
Right. And by the way, Miami hasn't looked like unbeatable by any stretch of the imagination, right? This could be what we need to get over that hump. You know what I mean? So, what do we need? We need a big old W, all right?
Okay, and then, you know what? And we're going to see
former... Hold on. Wait, before... I just realized this. We're New Yorkers, right? Where do we go when we have a bad breakup and stuff doesn't feel right? What's a quick weekend trip we as New Yorkers take to make ourselves feel good, get a little bit of sun, maybe meet somebody new, you know what I mean? Get a little bit of a rebound. Where do we go, Christian?
Orlando.
Well, Miami. Okay.
Miami, yes.
You go to Orlando. He's like, I got to go to Disney. No, we go to Miami.
You know what? To heal. It's like an Eat, Pray, Love situation, but with Minnie Mouse.
Yeah,
okay?
I want a man-made lake and river. Okay. No, we go to Miami, baby. We go to Miami, and what do? We bring them culture, right? From New York. We walk around, these slices is trash. Where's my bacon, egg, and cheese? Your bagel's dry. All of that, right? Yeah. That's what we do. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Miami.
New Yorkers are a walking Yelp review. Okay?
4 stars, not bad, you know? And they're like, dude, he wasn't even in this shop, you know? He's talking about the window side. That's what we do. We use Miami as our rebound. No offense, Miami, right? But that's exactly what we're going to do here, all right?
Okay. I'm about to discover myself.
Okay.
Miami, okay.
I'm taking a bit of a sabbatical. The phone stays in the hotel room. That's exactly what's happening right here. We're gonna rent a scooter and we're gonna live life just like we do in Miami.
We're gonna see former NYCFC defender Ben Sweat, who was taken in the expansion draft to Inter Miami. So that'd be get to reunite with a beloved player from the team. Obviously,
as you're running past him on the way to score, you know. Yo,
you
what's
know,
good? You good?
Yo, you good? All right. I'm a little busy right now, but thank you.
No.
All
we
love
can
though.
catch
All
up
love.
later. I'm gonna just score right quick for the 3rd time today.
Okay, everybody. So, we have this time we have our first guest for NYCFC at home, presented by El Jimador.
All right, now this is exciting. Okay,
Very.
for many reasons. I mean, this dude at this point, he wasn't even born here, and he's already legendary status in New York. All right, got one of the best restaurants that I've ever eaten at, especially in Harlem, which, especially at the time he opened, didn't have an extreme amount of options, especially for new modern style restaurants. And this dude brought a whole scene to Harlem, which is so dope. I'm excited to get to talk to this person, Christian. I mean, maybe you could go pick chia seeds. I don't know what you do. You eat like a rabbit. This is exciting for me.
Alexis, I'm here to listen and to learn.
To learn. All right, well, I'm excited, ladies and gentlemen. Our first guest, and I mean, aim for the stars, shoot for the moon, ladies and gentlemen. The head chef, and you've seen him at a bunch of restaurants, but Red Rooster is the one I'm specifically talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, chef superstar Marcus Samuelsson, everybody.
Marcus,
Thank
what's
you
up,
so
man?
much. We make my own drum roll here. No audience, just like at the soccer games, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now, talk a little bit about just sort of what's happening in the world, because we've been talking a little bit about this MLS's back tournament, right? Having to play games in a bubble. Soccer's not the only thing that's been affected by COVID. The restaurant industry in New York, which has 15,000 restaurants, has been heavily affected.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what it is that you guys are sort of doing and some of the precautions that you're taking to sort of help feed the community at a time where it's really difficult to do so.
Yeah. I mean, this is the toughest time that we ever gone through as a community, right? Early March, when we realized that, COVID was here for a long time, also knowing that Black and brown communities and indigenous communities are going to be hit harder, right? That's not a guess, that's a fact, right? And particularly Harlem, I think it's the area in Manhattan that have been hit the worst. So we decided to close restaurant, but stay open as a community kitchen and serving, partnering with World Central Kitchen, and starting handing out meals every day. So since March 15th, we served about 200,000 meals for the first responders and the neediest. And, it's been the toughest time, but it's also been very rewarding in the sense of that we know our place in our community right now. Harlem needs us. We need Harlem. We've done this together.
Incredible. Yeah. As far as we see how the precautions that are being taken for soccer games to just happen. Well, how is the restaurant industry? What's that response of how to be as cautious and safe as possible and still be able to feed people and take care of a community?
Well, it's very difficult because social distancing is not just between guests, right? It's how do we get our deliveries? How do we cook the food? How do we then, go from kitchen to servers, for example? So
how do you even put the food down on a table? What do you got, a 6-foot stick? I mean, you got to think about.
We open for ideas.
How about, I got an idea, a push cart, right? You put the food on and then you push it and you just hope.
Yeah.
if it turns, it's like that's your food now. I don't want to go over there.
You tip the push cart and then you push it back. Yeah.
We're open for that. Hey, we're open, and I'm telling you that the sad thing is that some of the most incredible restaurants that we know that we learn to love, they're not coming back.
Yep.
And for me, it's really important to talk about that because restaurants is very often the heart and soul of a neighborhood, right? That could be why you move to that neighborhood, right? And when a restaurant goes, so goes small retail. So that barbershop that you like, whatever that nail salon, whatever it might be in that community, it all is connected to restaurants because restaurants says, hey, we're open for business in many ways, right? So and then you add then Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities that we traditionally don't have generational wealth, right?
Mhm.
We don't, through structural racism, we don't have access to bank loans. So what's going to happen to our small business communities? That is way beyond just this moment. This is something that is very challenging, and the community has been amazing. Newark, we worked together with Audible, stepped up. They wrote a check right away. Michael B. Jordan helped us. He's from Newark, so he helped us there.
I'm born and raised in Newark. So
Yeah,
when you said you were opening a restaurant there, I mean, I live in Brooklyn, but when I
yeah,
heard you were opening a restaurant there, I was like, yo, let's go. Because it's one
yeah,
thing we know about how you've treated Harlem is that a lot of people love to sort of, orbit in, open something and leave. You've become an integral part of the community. So
yeah.
to see how you've worked with Newark is great. I just need you to do one thing. It's pronounced Newark, N-O-R-K. So, if you got to play, it's Newark, N-O-R-K, like cork with an N.
Got it.
It's Newark.
Newark.
Next time you talk to Michael B. Jordan on the phone, he's gonna be like, "Damn, son, you from there? I got you. I got your back. I can't let you be pronouncing the ERW. None of all that. It's just Newark,
North,
Newark,
North. I got it. Yeah,
like music to my ears."
yeah, North.
But here's another question: what do you think the restaurant scene is gonna look like in 6 months and a year? I know a lot of places are gonna close, but what do you think? I mean, you open a lot of restaurants. I believe the one in Montreal is either just opened or just about to open.
Just open. Yeah.
What do you think a restaurant will look like in the next few months? I mean, I can't imagine in New York, it used to be flip the tables as much as possible, put everyone as closely together. That can't happen anymore. So what do you think a restaurant's going to look like?
I I can't predict anymore because anytime I predict, I'll give you an example. Miami, we just opened Red Rooster Creamery in Miami. We're ready to open the restaurant in March right before the pandemic started to hit. Then we opened our takeout store, and then we had to close it. And this pandemic, it just shows you that the guessing game, the setting up a starting date, who knows,
Yeah.
right? It is, and it's not necessarily about me. I'll be fine. I've lost so many different ways to work, but it's also each place has a staff
Yeah.
that, Miami we're 90, and Red Rooster New York we're 180, 70 musicians on top of that. That's a tribe. That's 250 people, give or less, and then times 4 families that they provide for, and we serving about 4 or 5,000 people a week. It's a lot. So I don't know what the next year is going to look like, but I do know it's going to be difficult, and it's going to be with us much longer. Think about this, right? Once the pandemic happened, black and brown people, they in general, don't have second homes. They couldn't just escape the city. And most of our jobs are jobs that we can't do from homes. And that's why you have the numbers. And most of the jobs are very much in front of people, whether that's in hospitals, in restaurants, or whatever it might be. That's why the numbers of people that died or got COVID are so much higher in our community. And then you have the underlying thing that, we don't have access to health care, right? So it's not just numbers. These are your uncles, aunties, grandmothers. These are real people that we all know. I lost a lot of people in the restaurant community. And very early on, I lost a really good friend of mine, Floyd Cardos. He's an amazing chef, Indian American chef, like amazing. And it was one of those things when you realize, oh, this is not something you turn on to CNN and happens to them, whoever they are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is happening here, right here, to someone that I know. And I don't know why I needed that wake up call, but it really shook me. It's like, wow, this can hit home, and it has hit home.
Yeah.
Floyd being one of the most revolutionary Indian chefs in New York,
Yeah.
that at least that I know of.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was just going to add, just like the seriousness with everything going on. I mean, we've lost friends, other comedians. There's been NYCFC supporters that we've lost to COVID as well. So this stuff is
Even family. My wife's a registered nurse at Memorial Sloan Kettering. So what she's seen and the members of her community that are gone now, coworkers that are no longer here with us because of it, is just shocking. So it's wonderful. And also from her, she says, thank you for sending food. The times that you and your senior organizations did. Speaking of food a little bit, a lot of these games for this MLS back tournament are at 9 a.m., right? Now, as a New Yorker, right, I like to do maybe a little bacon, egg, and cheese for my breakfast. What does a Marcus Samuelsson eat if he was watching a soccer game at 9 a.m.?
First of all, I don't mind watching the soccer game 9 a.m. because, being a huge fan of soccer, growing up with it, watching the Premier League, you got to get up early every Saturday. So we all have that rhythm. So hello, all the players. I hear you complaining in Orlando, but it is strange, And I've thought about this being a soccer player myself. When you're a kid, like 10, 12 years old or something like that. My favorite thing was to go when our team went away. Right, you didn't sleep at home. You slept at an auditorium at a school, and you had games. Sometimes 24/7, right? You started at 10, then you had another game at 2, then you had one at 6, and we used to love that stuff. Do you know what I mean? And prank the 2 coaches that had the pleasure of taking care of 26 kids.
Yeah, it's different, right? But I just can imagine it's got to be tough to wake up that early. I know the players have their sort of tradition, right, of what they like to eat. So I can't imagine they're eating fettuccine and chicken. I don't know what a player eats. Clearly, I'm a fat guy. No one's ever asked me to eat something for athletic purposes. But I'm assuming their tradition has to change a little bit. Speaking of the soccer, there's going to be another game, which is our third game in the tournament. It's against Miami. Do you have a prediction? This is David Beckham's team. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're homies with him.
I think we'll win this one. I think we had a good game and a bad game, and now it's due for a good game. You know what I mean? Like I think we'll win this one. It's amazing though how quick the new teams are doing great in MLS. I'm like Atlanta a couple of years ago. I was like, what? How can this be? I mean, it's quite amazing to watch, and and obviously now they've been in the league for a long time. But even when Portland and Seattle came on, right away they did good. You know what I mean? And even more like you think about a team like Atlanta. Not only did they do well, they drew more people than the Falcons.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that means that culturally in that city, they were really, really relevant, which is good to see.
Although, have you ever seen a Falcons game? I mean, that's
It's
pretty easy to.
You're not missing out on much if you haven't.
If I said I'm going to go to the stadium and just talk into a microphone for 30 minutes, I think I could outdraw the Falcons.
Marcus, it's an absolute honor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Real honor.
Thanks, guys.
Wow. I mean, Marcus is incredible, isn't he?
Great dude. Yes, thank you again, Marcus Samuelsson, for joining us.
Do you think we made a good enough impression to get free food from now on at the restaurants?
Seems like you and I had different ulterior motives with that interview.
I'm saying fringe benefits is all I'm looking for, right? That's not where my head was at, but it is right now.
Okay. But let's focus on today's match preview presented by EA Sports. So NYCFC is going up against Inter Miami. What do we think? I know Marcus, he predicts an NYCFC win. Let's get a little bit more specific. What do we think the result is going to be?
I think the result is going to be, I think NYCFC knows they have to score. I think they're going to be pushing a lot of players forward, so maybe that leaves us a little bit open for the counter. So I think it's going to be somewhere along the lines of like a 4-2.
Okay, I'm predicting a win here. We've been wrong twice, but I feel good this time around. I think
I've said this before, buddy. We're Knicks fans. We're wrong all the time. Okay. We're wrong for being Knicks fans. Okay?
I predict a win here. I do think it won't be a large margin, but I'm saying 1-0. I think
they're going to gut it out.
I think, Miami, they haven't been too impressive offensively. So I think there's a real good chance, definitely for a win, but it's going to be, a pitcher's duel. It's going to be one of those. I think both teams are kind of still figuring out what they want to do when it comes to, going forward. So
I think we're going to go down to Miami and we're going to rebound with a couple, you know what I mean?
Come back home with a face tattoo. Who knows what's going to happen?
Maybe you got to visit the doctor for this burning sensation. Who knows, right? It's Miami, baby.
Who knows? So we'll see if we make it to the round of 16.
Do you think we're going?
Look, I contacted all the stat nerds.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how they talk too. It's very strange.
Yo, it's computers, dude. They hit us with that binary conversation.
And apparently we have a 17% chance to make it into the knockout round. So not too high, but there's still a chance. Okay.
There's a chance. That's all we need is a chance. We're New Yorkers. You open the door that much, we're coming through.
Well, look,
right?
if we need a lot of goals. We need a lot of goals if we make it through. But look, even if you say we don't make it through, 3 points, in for the first 3 points of the MLS season will be incredibly, important and they're crucial for the rest of the season.
And get us going in the right direction.
Need a win here. We need a win here. Okay.
What do you guys think is going to happen? Put it in the comments right now. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think the result's going to be?
Okay, so yes, make sure to like and subscribe the NYCFC YouTube channel. Again, we're going to be doing these throughout the rest of the tournament, the rest of the season. So yeah, the Cooligans will be a part of the NYCFC experience. Okay?
We're here now. Move over in the locker room, bro.
Yo,
and when you open the fridge, the burrito's mine. You know you don't eat that. Don't be eating my lunch.
Exactly, bro. I don't need to put my name on it. Okay.
we already know whose it is. It's covered in barbecue sauce. Look at all your abs. You know you ain't eating that.
Why are you putting barbecue sauce in a burrito, Alexis?
I meant a different dish. But also, yeah, why not? Chipotle ain't got no respect. Neither do I.
That seems reckless. Okay.
Let's go.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, Marcus Samuelsson, as well.
This has been NYCFC at home with the Cooligans, presented by El Jimador.